My name is Ethan Ravensdale. I work with Merced College doing recruitment, which is like what we're doing right now, outreach for our career technical education programs, things like welding and automotive and Mech Ag and diesel and things like that. And then I also do support for our students once they're inside the program to help them be successful. So if they're meeting any barriers, we have a whole team actually in place, but I am part of that team. So that's just a little bit kind of about me. Also joining us today is one of our actual instructors from the program, Andrew. He is here, and I'm very, very happy because he'll be able to give you kind of a little deeper dive. Andrew's, I always say this about everybody, but I mean it. I mean, it's bomb.com. Like, he knows the program. I know that he can get people hyped about this. So it's really good that he's here, and he's going to be able to explain a little bit more than maybe I could, because I've only been doing this job for about a year. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to be trying a new feature today that I just discovered as well. So I was just actually talking about this. So our Fast Track CTE support team. So this program, there's actually two programs. This is a mechanized agriculture that we're going to be talking about today, and our diesel equipment technology programs. These programs are part of our Fast Track, which means they have been accelerated to be done in a minimal amount of time. So what you're seeing here is a group of 5 people that are dedicated to helping you succeed in these programs if you were to join one of these programs, even if it wasn't this one. Just so you can see, I put this up here just in case you want to take my information down. On the top left there, you'll see my name. I'm going to try to use this little laser pointer that I just discovered. Wow, there I go. So you'll see it there. Go ahead, take that number down in case you get disconnected or something. That way you can get in touch with me and I can give you more info if you need it, okay? But other than that, we just have a couple other people. There's Sarah, who does the same job as me. There's Counselor Araceli, who is an expert on our programs. We have Autumn, who is our leader. That's our director. She coordinates our team here and our programs. And Mackenzie is her assistant. And if you ever need help, you can reach out to anyone. So that's just a little bit about your support team. So, okay, so this is words. I always get wordy, you guys. I'm so sorry, but it's just hard for me to do it in a little sentence. So what we want to know is, what the heck is mechanized agriculture and diesel technology, and what is the program all about? So on some of this, I'm going to read through this, but I think I'm going to lean on Andrew a little bit to kind of expand. But the mechanized agriculture and diesel tech programs at Merced College, so what they're doing is we're providing you some in-depth training in areas like power equipment, diesel engines, hydraulics, powertrains, brakes, chassis, fuel systems, electrical systems, all the things that go along with equipment that you would be seeing in agriculture and the diesel technology that is inside of them. We provide a lot of hands-on experience in a huge lab, actually a huge area out there where they've got, you know, full-size diesel trucks, tractor or trailers, real equipment that you can get hands-on experience with, taking it apart, putting it back together, and seeing actually what it is. It's not like a simulation, it's real hands-on. What you're going to learn is, of course, you're going to learn how to diagnose and to repair this kind of equipment. The modern designs, vintage designs, although I don't know if that's true. I have to ask Andrew about that. And how to service this machine, this machinery for local places that would use that, agriculture industry places. So I'm not going to go into a little bit because I wanted to ask Andrew if you had anything to add to that, kind of about the experience in the Mech Ag or Diesel program and what people can expect.
Our program is, to begin with, it's just under a year long, so 2 semesters. Let's see, you're going to start with introduction skills. So if you know nothing to begin with, that's fine. We teach you from the beginning all the way to where we expect you to be going out into the career field. Now, mind you, this is an educational program. When you go out in the field there, you're going to learn so much every day. We cover the foundation and a little step forward into there, but we don't go full tilt everything, because you can do that, but it's more of a disadvantage because where you go to work, everything is specialized. So we cover everything all the way up to the specializations, because depending on where you want to work, then they're going to specialize in different things. Our programs include the introduction classes, basic engines, and I don't mean like your little small gas engine. We actually have classes for that as well, but you'll get to work on cat engines out of a semi-truck going down the road, or engines out of backhoes, tractors, everything in between. Actually, the tractor in the picture, we have the engine for that actually on the ground right now. So it's kind of neat to see that there. We do transmissions for tractors. We do transmissions for over-the-road trucks, so your Freightliners, your Peterbilts, your Kenworths. We do all of that. We do AC, electrical, hydraulics, and then one class we actually do electrical over hydraulics, so how electrical systems control everything. We have a repair class where we go full tilt diagnostic. So we have our own computers that we can plug in to just about anything. As long as I have the hardware to do it, I have the programs to do anything. So from bare basics to reading values to programming them, we go full tilt into everything. So to best prepare you for the workforce and what you want to do is the main thing.
Yeah, that's good. I'm so glad you said that, because like you said, there are specializations, and that was one of the things. So I'm learning about the Mech Ag and Diesel program as well. You know, like I said, I'm kind of new, so I've only been to the lab a couple times, and I don't know everything that goes on there. So I'm going to be learning today too. But that's a good idea. Is like, yes, you don't need to know anything when you come into these programs, right? You will learn. You will get a good foundation to take you wherever it is you decide to end up going. But it's going to be teaching all the things you need to know. Your hands-on experience, of course, safety. I mean, this is heavy machinery, so safety is paramount. And like you said, diagnosing with the latest technologies, all the things that you might run into in the field. So that's good stuff. This program is versatile. So we'll talk a little bit about that later, about what you can get. What we're focused on right now is a certificate program where you just learn about diesel and mech ag. So we're going to go to the next slide. So let's talk a little bit. And Andrew kind of touched on this. So this program, what we are really pushing is that it is designed to be done in 1 year. So you would go fall semester and spring semester, which would be like August to December. And then you go January to May. So pretty much August to May. And then you would be eligible for your certificate. These programs, just so we can kind of talk about them a little bit. So the programs are so similar, Mech Ag and Diesel, that we almost combine them. There's only a slight difference in a couple classes. So most people will leave here with both certificates, I would say. It's just like a couple classes that switch between the two. So in our fast track pathway, yes, that's what we were talking about. You can get done in just 2 semesters. You can get all these skills, and then you can get yourself out to work. Right now, the classes are still in person because this is a very hands-on trade, right? You really can't do this online, or even if you're doing simulation, it's just not the same. So we still do offer this in person right now, even during coronavirus. I believe they split this program up into 2 separate groups. So some come on, like, I think Monday, Wednesday, maybe others come on Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that. Depending on how things go in the fall, it may continue on that path, or they may just combine back up. We'll have to see how it goes. And of course, that third bullet point there, one of the big advantages of the fast track program is that you get access to the support team. So this is a unique feature of this program, these fast track programs, because if you were going to go be a nurse, well, maybe that's a bad example. Let's just say a nurse. There's not a team there to support you when your financial aid is not coming through. You have to go to financial aid office and deal with this. But this program is built for like the future. All of our programs are eventually going to be like this, where we have teams in place to help you to complete and to overcome any barriers that you're running into. So that is a big advantage. And even though we're working remotely, I still help people every single day, even though I haven't been on campus since March. So that's something to think about when you join this program, because it is confusing when you college for the first time. The other option is, and I don't think this is going on right now, but sometimes, right, you can't commit to a 2-semester program because it's too intense. We'll get into the schedule in a little bit, but sometimes you have a job you need to work, you have a family maybe you need to support, or other obligations, or you just can't get to the college at those times. And so there are options where you can take these classes just a few at a time to fit your schedule, and you can do the program. Of course, it will take longer, but you can still complete them. There's still options to finish this program without having to dedicate your entire day to the program. And if you were going to do that, it is possible that you could be taking some general education classes at the same time if you wanted to do that. And I'll tell you a little bit about why you might want to do that later. And even if you decided you couldn't do the fast track program, we still will support you in our little CTE support team here. So you'll still get the same services. You can still come to me whenever my car broke down, what do I do? So you can still utilize our services even if you're not in a fast track program. So moving on. So yes, let's talk a little bit about the schedule. This schedule here, I always laugh when I see this. So this schedule is 2 things. It looks absolutely nuts, right? It doesn't make any sense. What does all that red and X mean? And the second thing is This is not an actual schedule for Mech Ag or Diesel, okay? I could not get that on here because the classes have already started, so it didn't look right. But this is a pretty fair representation of what a typical day would look like. Normally, you know, this is a welding program. You can see it starts at 7 in the morning. This program, Mech Ag and Diesel, does not start that early. I believe it starts at 8. And normally it goes till about 4:30, roughly, Monday through Thursday. Now, take that with a grain of salt. There are a few exceptions. Sometimes there are some classes that will take you into the night. It just depends. Like I said, there are a lot of classes in this program and they have to cram it into a short amount of time. So sometimes you might be there a little longer. And those are the kinds of things you'd want to talk to me about to see, exactly how long you'd be there. But the reason why this looks like this schedule is because you can see, like, on the Monday column, the second column there where all this garbage begins, and then the 8 a.m., there's like 5 classes there, right? There's 5 X's. So, I can use my little pen, yeah, right here. 5 X's. So you see this? So these classes are not all going on at the same time. These classes, what they do is they'll start and you'll be taking like maybe 3 classes. And then after a couple weeks, like maybe 4 or 6 weeks, they're going to be done. And then those classes will be over. And then these other 2 are going to begin. So that's how these programs work. You're doing a few classes at a time, and then you're doing them accelerated, right? And then you're going to finish and then start the next ones so that you can get through the program extra fast. So that's kind of how it works. Of course, you're with the same people. That's what this cohort means. You're going to be with the same people throughout the whole program. And financial aid is available. So whether you're doing a certificate or something else, you can get financial aid on this program. It is eligible for financial aid. So let's move on. Next slide. So Andrew already did a great job at this, and we might be able to kind of just gloss over this, but I did want to kind of show you guys. So this is literally it right here. This is how your classes would work, and I actually have listed them in the order, I believe, that they are taught through the semester. So you can see your first semester here, which would be fall. That is an 18-unit load. So 12 units is considered full-time. 18 units is, that's a full load. And because we're trying to cram in pretty much all these classes. As you can see now, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but some of these classes, like if you're just doing Mech Ag, this is a Mech Ag class. If you're doing Diesel, this is just a Diesel class. But like I said, most people do both. So do you have anything kind of to say, or did you want to pick any classes out here to maybe highlight about what you might learn?
Yeah, the only thing about that schedule, so the 31 and 12 are interchangeable. If you take one, you don't have to take the other.
Oh, okay.
That's the
there
only.
You go. See?
It depends on what you want to do. The ag equipment is probably the better class because it's better for hands-on operation, especially if you're someone who hasn't operated heavy equipment. That's the class you want to take to get your hands-on understanding. At least get out there and drive. That's all you got to do. And you can be nervous as can be, and it doesn't matter because by the time you get done, we're going to teach you to be able to operate it. And that's what that class is about. The power electrical systems, that's introduction into electrical, and then equipment mechanical skills is introduction to tools, what they are, how they work, and all the different stuff that we have, and you understand our facilities and what you can do. Then you'll go into, say, diesel engines, and you'll start that along with AC class and hydraulics.
Yeah, that's good. So see, there you go. And it goes fast. There's only a couple months. So you're jamming through these. I'm glad that you told me that. Thanks, because I didn't really understand why those 2 were like that.
Yeah.
So you go through all this, and this is an actual picture of somebody in one of our labs out there. What's he doing?
And that picture, he looks like he's hopefully assembling an engine. So that would probably looks, because it's black on the interior, probably a Cummins engine. He's putting bearings in on the crankshaft. Okay. He's putting bearings in or putting the front seal in.
Okay, so whatever that means, that's happening. You know what I mean? No, I mean, he's working on, he's learning, and he's doing the work in the class. And this is the actual lab. Yeah, it's been so long since I've been there, I almost don't recognize it. But that's the real actual lab. This picture is a little old, but so that's kind of your first semester. And then the second semester, so this is what we're in right now. So people are actually doing this right now. And as you can see, this can get to be a lot. So 21 units, that's actually more than the maximum you can take without approval, but they do approve this because this program, some people want it all. And then is there kind of anything in here you might want to touch on these classes, Mr. Ornelas?
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of classes, but at one time, you're only taking 3 at one time at most. So powertrains will be the morning class. Your truck brakes and chassis is the night class for those that are doing the diesel over the road truck pathway. And then the applied electrical and hydraulics is daytime. Compact power is the Mech Ag of the night classes. And that's if you wanted to go that far. Diesel fuel systems, advanced diagnostic, diesel fuel systems and applied diesel technical skills is the afternoon. So, like I said, at one time, you're only doing 3 at most. To me, the fun one is the 41 class, advanced diagnostics and repair. That's full tilt, hands-on, just like if you were at the job site. That class is written to be as if you were at the job, how it would work, how it would happen, and to best prepare you for the workforce.
Actual work, yeah. So let me ask you, okay, so I've been told that most people do both. So like, is that true? Do most people get the Mech Ag and the diesel certificate in the year, or is that not true?
Probably 95 to almost. We've only had about one student not do it in the past 3 years.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
So we've had 1 to 2 students at the most not do it, but then they end up coming back a year later. Hey, I want to do the air brakes. Normally is what happens. But the one they usually don't do them as the Mech 35. No, there's another class they can take after all this. Sorry, that's the one I was looking for. And you get an actual 3rd certificate for compact equipment. So people that want to go work, say like at golf courses, that certificate is for them. So anything under about 100 horsepower, it fits perfect for them, from diesel to gas to everything in between.
Okay, so there you have it. So yes, you'll pretty much get everything. And then there is a 3rd certificate that you can get that he was just talking about there, compact power. So that's good stuff. So you're going to pretty much learn everything, right? Everything about how an engine works, everything about the truck. I mean, from the engine to the transmission, right, to the brake, it's just everything. And it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn. This is a high technology, a sophisticated piece of machinery. I mean, these things are super duper expensive. Have you stood next to one lately? Because I tell you, I don't even fit inside the tire. They're huge. So yeah, get out there and drive. That's a good kind of thing to say. But there's so much you're going to learn. It's really interesting. It's a big area. It's pretty cool. I would encourage you. I mean, not that we'd go on campus right now, but you can drive out there and actually just drive by and see it. It's right there on the road by the library. You can take a look and you can see some of the equipment that's out there. So, okay, let's move on. Enough about that. I'll stop. So yes, okay, so certificates and degrees. So what we're talking about is, what are all these classes going to get you, right? So as Mr. Ornelas said, most people do both. So the Mechanized Agriculture Technology Certificate and the Diesel Equipment Technology Certificate, they go hand in hand. You go through all those classes learning all about everything you need to know to get your foundational knowledge to go to work and get your specialty, depending on where you go to work. And then that compact power equipment one, as he was saying, is for like a smaller engine kind of thing, like, what'd you say, less than 100 horsepower. So that you can add that on, but you have to take another class, correct? And then you can get that 3rd certificate. So that would be like an additional semester. I don't believe you could do those all at once, because it would be just too many units to take at once. And so you can walk out of here with those 2 in 1 year, which is great. So you're gonna have all these skills. You're gonna have these 2 certificates on your transcript that are gonna say, you got these, the knowledge and everything. It's gonna be on there, and you can show that to your employer. And they're just going to be like, this is amazing. You got all these great skills, and then, but sometimes, like, what if you're going through life, right? And you're just like, okay, man, I had a great time in school and I learned so much. And like, maybe I want to go for, like, I don't know, a supervisory role, or I need something to like really stand out among like all these people who might be applying. Ag is huge, right? I mean, hello, we live in the Central Valley. Ag is huge. I have a bunch of quiz questions for you guys about ag coming up. but sometimes the certificate's nice, but what if you really want to go really big and stand out? Maybe, like I said, take that supervisory role. You can definitely get associate degrees too in all, well, not compact power, but the mechanized ag and the diesel, you can get associate degrees too. Your associate in science in these, what you would do is you would need to add on general education. So like I was saying earlier, if maybe you couldn't do the fast track because time commitment or constraints or something, you could be taking general education, like your English and your math, your psychology, all your elective things. And while you're working on that, you could actually leave here with the associate degree. So something to think about, you know, if you want to keep moving in life, more education is definitely the way to get there. And you can take these certificates to that level if you want to. So let's talk a little bit about, well, this is great. You know, Ethan, I got the certificate, I got my associate degree, but what am I going to do? Like, oh, where do I go get a job, right? I have a little bit to say about this, but I wanted to pull some information here. So what you're looking at, this is three little bits of info. So this job can take you, I think, in a lot of, or sorry, this certificate can take you in a lot of directions, but I just wanted to pull kind of like a generic, like a heavy vehicle and mobile equipment service technician, right? You can see here, so the median pay, this is, you know, it's 2019, a couple of years old, but this is median means in the middle, right? So this is good money, right? That's a good paying job right there, that you can get, you know, eventual skills, maybe not when you first go to work, but by the time, you know, you get a couple of years experience, you can be at this level making some pretty good money. And you can see there's a lot of jobs in the United States that revolve around this education, this type of education. So this is definitely something, especially being here in California, as you can see, like on this map on the right, we are a dark green. California is like the largest producer of, I want to say most ag products, or a lot of ag products in this country. I know we produce a third of the country's vegetables. We produce, I think, like 2/3 of the country's fruits here, almonds, dairy, beef. It's huge in California. So there is a demand for this type of skill, especially right here where we are in the Central Valley. As you can see, I know this is getting to be a little small. I don't know if I can zoom in, but this is just a list of areas. So Fresno, which is like our area, in the entire United States, we're the third like highest area for this type of job. So this is like a super secure, good field to kind of get an education in and find a good job here if you want to stay in the Central Valley. And if you're like, Ethan, I hate the Central Valley, I don't want to be here because, you know, it just like, it's hot, it's dusty, blah, blah, blah. You know, look at this map on your right. You see this? You can kind of take this almost anywhere, except don't go to Alaska because you're not going to find much there, I guess. But you could take this like virtually anywhere in the United States if you want to go get a job and you want to, you know, move out and go somewhere else. So something to think about, you know, I want to ask Andrew about this because do you have, I know that your guys and girls probably get employment, but do you have like a success story that you can think of that you might be able to share?
Oh, I mean, I was literally on the phone with a bunch of them last night just because I was calling to catch up with a handful of them.
Oh,
a lot of our students from last year's group are just right below that average median pay for year. So for the first year starting off, it's really not, I mean, for our area, it's really good. If you travel to Fresno, San Jose, anything out of county, it actually goes up a lot. We've had a lot of people, even when I was employed as a mechanic, I got paid more than that, to be honest with you. I mean, being a mechanic gets you a lot of money. It's how much time you want to spend on the job to an extent. Like if you just get into this and you love it, you can easily make a lot of money. I mean, and then if you go union, it's a whole nother story. You can even go even higher. As for the amount of jobs, we can't fill the positions we have now. We have employers calling us all the time about asking, hey, do you have any students ready to work? Okay, when can we take them? That's our biggest struggle, is because employers will find out which students we have sometimes and they'll try to take them in the middle of the semester. That's the hardest part about it. But the jobs are there, the money's there. It's actually, when you get your own set of tools and you're doing it on your own, you actually get paid more than that. You're around $30 an hour, $28 to $30 an hour, especially when this minimum wage bumps up. Because if you have your own tools and you're doing it on the job, you actually get double minimum wage starting off. So your first year is entry level, and then from there forward, by then you should have your own tools, and then you're working double minimum wage as a minimum. That when you have your own tools, the new minimum wage is double minimum. So it's definitely high paying. You got to find your niche and what you love, and there's so many things. If you love what you do, you become more and more valuable to the employer, and your price only goes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See that you hear what he's saying. They're trying to what do they call that? I don't know. They're trying to take them before they're even done, right? They're like
They could.
Yeah, they're trying to like, give them to us, right? And so this is what I'm talking about. So this is I mean that's great, and that's part of what we do offer. So we're going to go into that a little bit, but that's exactly what it is. So you see, it's a high demand field, and it's just, I mean, you're in the right area if you're looking for that kind of work. So so that's just a little bit kind of about that. I mean, I just look at this, man. I don't know. Every time I do these presentations, I get excited and I'm like, man, I want to do this now, you know. But
Well,
this is good. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're fine. The biggest thing about it is California is the largest producer of fruit nuts and fruits and nuts. And then we're also one of the largest, we are probably the largest for vegetables. Like they say Wisconsin is the dairy state. Well, California outdoes them in production in dairy. They say North Carolina is a sweet potato state, but the town of Livingston will outproduce the entire state of North Carolina. It's oranges. We produce more oranges in Fresno County. That's why the cuties, the little small oranges and things like that, are all out of just south of Fresno. California is major ag, and if you don't like the temperature, you go up to Northern California, and there's a lot of hay work, things like that. So the jobs are there, the conditions are there. It all depends on what you want to do, and it could be anything from over the road trucks to like the semi trucks and the shops to the tractors, the farm equipment to construction equipment. A lot of our students are going into the construction field because they get to travel and they have fun doing that. Plus all the overtime and all the extra money from construction jobs. So there's many possibilities of what you can do.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good stuff. I love that. I love hearing that. So you see that, just take it to heart. That's all I can say. All right. I'm going to move on. Next slide. Okay. So this is kind of where it comes back to me. So I want to just go over a couple important points about Merced College and why Merced College, why not somewhere else? You know, I hate Merced. It's Merded. I want to go somewhere else, you know, and so I hear that from people. And so one of the things is, you know, don't overlook a community college. It is such a valuable resource. It is right here in your very backyard right now, because what I've done here is I've actually taken screenshots, and I just took this today. So this is like up to date, up to the minute information. So this is a nearby school that does our program, the diesel program. It's the diesel program, and they you know, are teaching essentially the same things, and you will be receiving a certificate just like you would here at Merced College. But if we could just like run through this really fast. So as you can see, so the total tuition for this program, for this is a 7 and then 11-month program, right? So the total tuition that's the amount to be on the to get into the class is $36,000. It's over $36,000. Okay, so even with your free money, your grants and your scholarships, which I think this is probably being a little generous, $13,000. Oh, they're like, your remaining tuition balance is only $22,958 out of pocket, okay, that you have to pay from your no money having student wallet, right? Because you're going to school, so you're probably not working, or you're not making that much money to pay that. And they like to say, oh, well, your remaining cost zero because you're just going to take out $22,000 in student loans. Okay, that is it. Just every single time I go through this, it blows my mind to see how much that it costs. Because if you're leaving school with a not even a year of school with the $23,000 in debt, that is a huge burden to put upon yourself when you're not, you know, having necessarily a job. Although we've heard there's a lot of jobs out there, but you're still going to have this huge bill to pay for many years. So at Merced College, like, how much does this program cost? This number right here, the 22,000, how much does this cost? So I'm sorry, the 36,000, because that's the tuition. It's only going to cost $1,800 because it's $46 per unit times it was like 20-something units or 30-something units for this from $1,800 just to be on the roster. Okay, that's like I don't even know, like that's not even 5% of that total right there. So you're saving a ton of money if you come to Merced College to get an education from a dedicated instructor like Mr. Ornelas, who will give you a strong foundation in the same way that this technical school would. And the thing is that even though it's $1,800, you're like, that's still a lot of money. It's not, because usually financial aid will cover all of that anyway. And we're going to talk about a couple reasons how they will cover that. But we gave out over $30 million in financial aid last year for our 16,000 students that go here. So let's talk a little bit about like what that means. How does that look? So in case you don't know, if you are graduating high school and you have never been to college before, the first 2 years at Merced College are completely free. Okay, so period, like the end, there's no more to say about it. It is just free. With a little asterisk, you have to pay $30, but and books. But the enrollment fees are completely free. So you're going to get to take all those classes that would cost you $26,000 at another school and have no charge. And all you have to do is do your financial aid application. The requirements for doing that is just that you are enrolled full time, and this program is full time. Like I said, it's 18 units in the fall and 21 units in the spring. So you'll definitely qualify if you're graduating high school and you've never been to college before. And if you are going to college and you know somebody else, or I'm sorry, if you have already been to college, let's just say, or you know somebody who has, and maybe they failed, or it just didn't work out, or whatever it was they'd been before, we have another type of thing. It's called the Promise Grant. If you apply and do your financial aid and you fall within certain income guidelines, it's still going to be free. They will cover all of your tuition, and they're very generous with the range of income that is covered under this program. So I went to college for many years. I never paid a single dime for enrollment, ever. I don't think I mentioned either. This one is called the College Promise if you're graduating high school. And then this one's called the Grant if you've already been to college. Very confusing, but they do the same thing. And again, all you have to do is apply for financial aid, even if you're undocumented or you don't have, if your citizenship status is in question or something like that, you can apply for the California Dream Act, and you can still be eligible for this. So that's a huge advantage that we have over trade schools, is that our prices are much, much, much lower, and the education might even be better. Okay, so I'm going to gloss over this just really quickly because I hear it every single day, and people ask, they're like, oh, I am not going to apply for financial aid, Ethan, because I know I don't qualify. I know for sure, like my parents make too much money. I don't want to give my information to the government, whatever it is. And what I always say to them is just apply for financial aid. You don't know the formulas for figuring out financial aid are so complicated. You need to apply, or else you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot, not knowing if you might have been eligible for something. And even if you apply for financial aid and the office says, okay, no, your parents do make too much money, like, you guys are balling and you need to just pay for your own school. There are other resources available, some just to go down the list. We have scholarships that we give out over $100,000 every year. We have student grants that come up occasionally that can help you pay for books. This semester it was $300. Right now, because of COVID-19, we are lending out laptops, and we have mobile hotspots, and you don't have internet at home. We have pretty much every textbook available in the library. So you can go to the library and ask them to make copies of the chapters if you're in a bad way. Like, let's say, you really can't afford the books, but you need to do assignments or something. They have pretty much every book in the library for you to get copies of. So a very cool service. And they have a countrywide, not county, but USA-wide lending library. So you can get a book from anywhere in the country to the Merced College Library through the interlibrary loan program. Another big thing that we do is we have a partnership with Worknet of Merced County. Worknet, we work closely with because they can assist you with your textbooks or supplies or whatever you might need for this program. They can help you with also your resume, job interview skills, and things like that. All you have to do is go through their process of applying to their program, and it's pretty simple. You just do a couple, and then you have an interview with somebody, and then they will let you know what they can do to help you. But this area for sure is or this career, this field, or what's it called, industry, would be something that they would support here in Merced County, because obviously this is an ag area. And if all else fails and everybody's like, no, it's just door slamming in your face and nobody wants to give you any money, then you have to cough it up yourself. And we do offer payment plans for that. So we have plans that you can do, I think, like up to 4 payments. You won't get dropped from your classes right away. As long as you pay you're doing your due diligence and making payments, you can do that throughout the whole semester. So there's options there. I don't think I've ever seen anybody get to the very bottom of this slide with payment plan. At some point, they get help from somewhere. So other than that, just to touch on a couple things here, because I want to kind of wrap this one up. A couple of our advantages. So in our fast track program, why would I want to join this? The The big ones are going to be on the right here, our career services workshops. So even though we are remote right now, we are offering these to help you build your skills, because if I haven't kind of made it like clear, I guess, the big overarching idea of this entire program is we want to get you into school, we want to get you trained, get you skills, and then we also want to help you to get employed so that we can get you out there and you can start using your skills to build your career, right? We want to help you do that. And so that's what our team is built around. We have these workshops usually once or twice a month where we will help you, because it's not just about having skills. You have to go through all the hoops. You got to have your resume. You got to have a cover letter done. You need to develop interview skills, right? If you maybe you've never interviewed if you're just out of high school. So you would need to do these mock interviews to help understand what kind of questions they might ask or how to respond in a way that is selling yourself and selling your skills and your abilities. So we offer these workshops, and so does Worknet, to help you grow your repertoire, your portfolio, so that when you go out looking for a job or when somebody calls asking for one, they want you, that you are ready to go. The other one I would say, well, we can say instructor involvement beyond instruction, because we just heard that Mr. Ornelas is talking to people still, checking in on them. So this is not just an instructor regurgitating the book saying, blah, 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 blah. Here's your assignment. Now repeat it back to me. And then that's it, and giving you a grade. So our instructors are involved in your development. This is a hands-on program. So they are going to be teaching you, observing you. They're going to be seeing, are you friendly? Do you play well with others? Do you take leadership roles? All that helps us to know, who's taking the program seriously and who can we help to connect with the job, right? If you got a stinky attitude, it doesn't reflect well. So if you're showing promise and you're a player, your instructor can help you to be more than just an instructor, but to be maybe like a partner in your future. So that's definitely true in this program. And the other one that I'd like to really just touch on really quickly is this assistance with paid internships and or employment opportunities. So the whole point of doing this career service workshops and this getting to know your instructors and being a cool person is so that this happens. Because if you do all of these steps and everybody says you are bomb.com, then we are going to do whatever we can to hook you up with local companies to get you introduced and hopefully to get you a job or at least a paid internship so that you can start to develop your skills and use what you just learned. So that's really the big advantages of a fast track program. Like I said, if you were in the nursing program, this might not happen for you. You learn and then you go out and you have to go just figure it out on your own, So take advantage of us, take advantage of me. I will definitely say, just be completely 100% transparent. These services right here are highly underutilized. And we push them so hard and people do not take advantage of them. So you are, again, shooting yourself in the foot if you don't take advantage of this, because we are here to help you move on. So speaking of moving on, okay, if I made you feel like this young lady right here, because you are like, yes, Ethan, you've done it. You have turned on the light bulb. And Mr. Ornelas, his stories have really like touched me deep, and I want to do Mech Ag and Diesel. All you have to do is just call me or email me. My information, I'm gonna have it on the next slide. Know this, so we are going to be enrolling a new group of people starting in the fall semester. Registration will begin in April. April 19th is the group for incoming high school seniors if you are registering. And it is the best to register early because space is limited. I think there's like 25 or so people in this program, and it will fill up, and it will fill up fast. So do not waste any time. Now is the time to apply to college. Now is the time to contact me and go through all the enrollment steps so that we can get you into this program if you really want to. So do not hesitate to contact me today. And again, here's our contact information. Please take note of this person here. You may recognize the name. That is me, Ethan. I would be your best contact, or Araceli would be okay too, because she can actually get you in there. But if you're a brand new student, please contact me. Call me or text me. Text is best, or email me. And other than that, if anybody has any questions, now would be the time to throw them out there. Does anybody have any questions?